This big adventure begins. Day one was quite a day. I woke up at my home about 4:30 in the morning to get to the airport to fly out to LA. Got here, instantly met up with some people, some YouTubers and some other people that love locations as much as I do. Had a great day, long day, walking around Venice, Santa Monica Pier, having a few nibbles, and then finally checking into our hotel about 8:30 last night, and then at 9 o'clock getting back out in the car, driving to Industry City, I think it's called Industry City or Industry California, I'm not exactly sure where the mall is from Back to the Future. So we had some fun down there. Rumor is that mall may not be there for much longer, so of course we had to check it out. That's almost an hour south of our hotel. Came back up this way, and then we went to the iconic Rainbow Bar and Grill for a late night dinner, where back in the 80s all the rock bands hung out there. That's heavy metal and all that isn't necessarily my jam, so I'm not familiar with a lot of those guys, but it's a restaurant full of history. Sadly, it is also where my guy John Belushi had his last meal the night before he died. So it was sad to see that table where he dined for the last time, but it was also, I don't know, a little cathartic for me to have that moment. So by the time we got back to the hotel, it was 2 a.m., which means 2 a.m. LA time, which means it was 4 a.m. my time. So it means I had been up for about 24 hours. I think I'm starting to show signs of wear already, and it's only the morning of day 2. So standing out here, out in front of the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, where I'm staying on Hollywood Boulevard. And I'm waiting for a friend to pick me up so we can go drive around and hit some more locations. So let me turn the camera around. This is it. You can start to see some of the stars on Hollywood Boulevard. I'm going to be walking along all of those later on. Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, I've been there. The Chinese Theater over there. All the footprints, I'll be checking that out later on. Right now I'm just going to sit tight and wait for my friend to get here and take me off on another day's adventure here in Hollywood. Day 2 in Hollywood. I'm about to go out and hit up some filming locations from some classic movies and television shows. And this time I have some help. My buddy here, Randy, from Randomly Randy, is chauffeuring me around LA. Isn't that nice of him? Thank you, Randy.
You're welcome.
So he's going to drive and I can enjoy the sights and give navigational directions, I guess. So hopefully there's going to be some good stuff ahead today. We're about to go to the first location of the day. Something from a classic, iconic television show. Richie, Patsy, Ralph Malph, and hey, the Fonz, right? The coolest of cool. Well, I am standing in front of the Cunningham residence from Monday, Tuesday, Happy Days. Happy Days! Turn this around and show you. There it is, the Cunningham residence in all of its glory. I'm trying to find a couple of screenshots online to line up with. Couldn't really find anything great. There's some shots with some old cars in the driveway, and a shot with a truck in the street with a giant birthday cake in the back, like a kind of birthday cake somebody might pop out of. Couldn't find anything really great. This is it. Obviously, I want to be respectful. This is a private residence. I don't want to go on private property. The Cunningham residence. Right here. Right here. It's about 7 minutes from my hotel in Hollywood. This is where all those great moments occurred in Happy Days. It's so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The Cunningham residence. Thought I would take a little shot from this angle, because I think there are some photos out there, again, where there's some old cars in the driveway. on the internet, and I think they line up a little bit like this. So, the Cunningham House. Off to our next location. So in 1977, a television show debuted that was, I think, a little bit ahead of its time. It starred Katherine Hellman, and it was about a very wealthy family who had a gay son, who of course at the time, you know, that stuff wasn't very acceptable yet. And that gay son was played by the one and only Billy Crystal. And the show was called Soap. So Katherine Hellman played the matriarch of the Tate family, and right behind me is the Tate Mansion out here in Los Angeles. The one and only Tate Mansion from Soap. I think it's beautiful. All these houses in this area are just beautiful. So that's the next one on our stop. Off to the next one. All right, coming up on another house here. Now, sometimes visiting filming locations, when it's something that you really loved, there's just no word to describe it. And this is gonna be one of them. My heart is beating fast right now. I'm just gonna take this one in and I'll show you. I'll turn the camera around and show you. Cannot believe it. Can't believe I'm here. All right, so here's the grass of this next filming location. I'm sorry, I'm gonna really take this one in. This is the funeral home / family home of the Fisher family in 6 Feet Under. This is it. 6 Feet Under. Michael C. Hall, Francis Conroy, oh my gosh, Peter Krause, the Fisher family, and so many more. This was the home that the family lived in and where they conducted their they had their funeral business. They had their funeral business in the basement where, the embalming was done and the body preparation and the wakes, the services were held inside on the first floor. This is it, the Fisher family home. I'm gonna take a walk around, take a look at the side of it. Michael C. Hall, I absolutely love him. I think I first discovered him honestly with Dexter, I think. Memory serves correct. Memory's fading as I get older. And I had heard about 6 Feet Under, but I didn't think I would be able to like it because it was about death, and I just don't like dealing with death. But after seeing all of Dexter and all of Dexter New Blood, the reboot, I decided it was time to bite the bullet and finally watch 6 Feet Under. So I did that last year. And I loved it. It is not just a story about death, it is a story about the Fisher family and all of the trials and tribulations. Michael C. Hall plays a gay character, so he is not out during most of, for a long time. He finally does come out to his family, but he's a grown adult by then. So, it was one of those things that he was keeping secret for a while. So this is the driveway where the hearse would pull up, or the coroner's van or whatever, where the bodies would be delivered, and then they'd be taken inside to be prepared for their services. So this is a big one here, right, for me. All right, this next location should be a pretty quick one. There's not too much to see, and it's got a big fence around it and a gate. But if you like horror movies, you might recognize this place. This is the funeral home from the people under the stairs. Right there. Funeral home. People under the stairs. This is it. The people under the stairs funeral home. I am not gonna have too much commentary on this one. It looks like it is available for rental, for filming and events. Let's see if I can get inside there. This is it. One of those windows looks boarded up. Don't know if anyone lives here, but there are some cars in the driveway, so I would imagine so. There is a shot online of the home with a sign in front, and the sign is hanging by one of the chains. The other one has broken. So this would kind of be what the house looks like in that shot. But yeah, this is the Robson Funeral Home. I think it's Robson, from People Under the Stairs, a Wes Craven film. And I gotta say, of all the horror movie houses I've seen, I think this one looks the most like a horror movie house. There's something about it. I think it was an excellent choice by the location scouts for that film. Okay, any Viola Davis or Shonda Rhimes fans out there? If so, you might recognize Annalise Keating's house from How to Get Away with Murder. Annalise Keating, portrayed by Viola Davis, the university professor who taught law, and along the way taught her students how to get away with murder. So there it is, Annalise Keating's house. There is a fence around the property, so I'm trying to put my camera through the fence so the fence is not obscuring it. But this is it. Only about a 5-minute drive from the previous location, so we're kind of making some headway today. Now, it did actually burn down in one of the episodes. If you watched the show, you might remember that. There was a fire and it burned to the ground. So it's nice to see that it is still standing in all of its beautiful glory today. So we're about to try to get inside the Millennium Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. This is the place of so many different filming locations. This was the place of a Democratic convention for Kennedy. Pretty in Pink was filmed here, of course. Several episodes of Columbo were filmed here. And of course, it's probably most popular for Who Are You Gonna Call? It was used in Chinatown. So we're gonna see what we can do here. It's a beautiful old historic hotel, and I can't wait to get inside. Here's the entrance, this palatial entrance, right over here. The Millennium Biltmore. Now actually in the movie Ghostbusters, this is not the entrance they enter through. They enter through a side entrance. So I'm hoping we'll get to see that today, see how it goes. Well, here we have it. Here we have the entrance to the Millennium Biltmore, where the Ghostbusters came in to take care of that gnarly ghost Slimer. This is actually not the front entrance to the hotel. It is a side entrance, but this is it. This is where they came in, and we were introduced to them and their proton packs in action for the first time. All right, we're here. Where does that go? We're here to take care of business. We're the Ghostbusters. Okay, so after the Ghostbusters come in through those main doors, they work their way down the hallway. They're told what the problem is, and then they come over to these elevators here. These should look pretty familiar to you. There's that iconic scene where they're all waiting for the elevator. These are the elevators they walk over to, and while they're waiting for the elevator door, a customer asks what they're doing here, and they say cockroaches, and the customer says it must be one hell of a cockroach. So that is where they're waiting. Now over there's actually an opening, but in the scene, they must have hung a curtain there to conceal, because what's beyond there is actually the lobby with the lobby cafe. This is the famous place where that famous scene in Ghostbusters was filmed. All right, once the Ghostbusters are shown the room where the problem is, it looks like it's a banquet room, but it's actually the real hotel lobby of the Hotel Biltmore. And up there is the beautiful ceiling that you see while they are trying to capture Slimer. They're actually standing over there, and you see this ceiling from this angle over here. There's a lot of people in this hotel lobby. Trying not to get them in the shot. So yeah, they would be down there. You do see these pillars in the shot back there, and you see them firing their lasers towards Slimer, and that's where it is. That's where all the action happens. And then they present the bill, and they're told, "I had no idea it would be that much. I won't pay it." At which time they're ready to release Slimer, but of course they don't. Here's another beautiful area in the Millennium Biltmore Hotel, and you might recognize this from Pretty in Pink. This is where Sam arrives in her pretty pink dress, and she's kind of at the end, and she walks towards the camera on her way to the prom. So this is where that scene happened. It is a beautiful room. This is just more of this entire floor of the Biltmore, the lobby floor. Right in there is that lobby. And actually up here is the Crystal Room. And inside here, a Democratic convention for President John F. Kennedy was held. And also the prom scene from Pretty in Pink was held in there. Sadly, the door is locked, so I cannot get in. So when you first walk in the Biltmore from the main entrance, this is this lobby restaurant. It's quite lovely. And these beautiful stairs leading up to the main lobby level. This is considered ground level. So it's interesting because this is the main entrance and it's on, you know, ground level. But the entrance the Ghostbusters came in would be, you know, that way. I don't know what direction that is. And it's a level up. So the road up there must be a little bit higher. So anyway, that is the main entrance lobby, ground level of the Millennium Biltmore. Beautiful hotel, beautiful. Should stay here sometime. John Carpenter fans, you might recognize that building right there. That building made an appearance in They Live, and that's where it flashed the sign "Marry and Reproduce." And you know, if you had the sunglasses on, you didn't see that, but the minute you took them off, you saw the messages from the aliens: marry and reproduce. Down here in downtown Los Angeles on Olive Street, near 7th Street. So let that be a lesson to you: marry and reproduce. John Carpenter says so. All right, so what we are looking at here is the outside of that side entrance inside into the Millennium Biltmore Hotel that the Ghostbusters went into. You notice we're a bit higher up. You can see this road is coming up and going back downward. So this is where they entered. Those are the doors that we saw from the inside. So right here, that's where the Ecto 1 would have parked. Right here. I believe this is 5th Street in downtown LA. So they just pulled up right here and then went running in. Ghostbusters, what do you want? All right, this building right here, this tall building in front of us, I am told is the building from Independence Day that was blown up. Not sure what angle, but right here in downtown LA, Independence Day, kaboom! And there's a flag. How nice. How appropriate. This is the intersection of Grand and 5th, I believe. Downtown LA. So this location I have been to once before. But when I was here last time, December of 2021, it's pretty, you really couldn't get the shot you wanted because this area had become a bit of a homeless camp. Where am I? I am in front of the wall. This is where Thriller was filmed. This is where the epic Thriller dance was filmed. Michael Jackson and all of the other ghouls. Right here. Right freaking here. So this is thrilling to be back here and have everything clean and clear and to be able to recreate that shot. I'm thrilled. I don't know the words anymore. It's been a long time, but... 'Cause this is Thriller. Thriller night. MJ himself and everybody else that was recording that video that night.
I don't know. I don't remember really. I remember this.
There you go.
Then there was, let's see. Something like that.
Hey Randy, that was pretty scary over at the Thriller location, right? All those ghouls and stuff. Yeah.
They were creeping.
Yeah, so I thought we would maybe come to the cemetery. He's got moves. So see if we can help them get back into their graves. But you might recognize this cemetery if you are a Wes Craven fan. This is the cemetery scene in Wes Craven's original Nightmare on Elm Street. Right behind me is the building you see Nancy She's sitting on those steps. She's upset after the loss of her friend, and her mom is consoling her. So this is it. So right there on those steps is where Heather Langenkamp would have sat, and then her mom came and consoled her. Right there on those steps of that chapel. Nightmare on Elm Street was, as much as I love some of the horror genre of the time, you know, Friday the 13th and of course Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street was something entirely different Wes Craven came up with, because it introduced the concept that something bad could happen to you in your sleep. How scary is that? Like in your waking hours, at least you can be careful of the way you conduct yourself, where you go, you can practice safety, you know, but in your sleep, you're kind of vulnerable in your sleep. So it was a whole new level of horror that we had not seen before. So it's pretty cool to be here. I lied. I don't know. My companion here today was not going to leave here without finding the gravesite. So I think we found it. Let's go see. So here we are. We think we found it. This is the headstone that you see in the left of the frame with the cross on top. Louise Minier. And then the casket would have been kind of right in that open area there. Kind of the dead giveaway to this one are these two trees. If you look at the original shot, there are two trees pretty close together, one in front of the other. So once, well, I didn't find it. Once Randy saw that, I told him to look for the trees. He found it. So this is it. This is where the funeral took place in Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, the next stop was kind of a strikeout for a couple of reasons. The area has been so drastically remodeled, it doesn't even look the same. And one of the key spots is completely changed and is not accessible. But if you like the movie Christine, this was the spot where Mucci was being chased by Christine to his death. Let me show you. Okay, so Mucci is being chased by Christine through the streets under a bridge, and he is being chased, and eventually he comes out here. Now this has been completely redone. You can kind of see in the original shot that there was kind of a tall concrete, I don't know, curb alongside, so that may be that part of that original. I'm not sure, but it was a very tall concrete curb. It looks like that could be the original, but then there was grass here, and he was coming out of a business, and then there was another curb on this side. So this has been completely redone. So this is where he would have run out, and then what he did, Mucci just crossed the street, and actually he probably would have been a little bit over here, and he went through those double doors there. That gate was open. It's now a recycling facility. Don't remember what it was in the movie, but he ran through those open gates, and what he did was he ran straight back. It was open then. As you can see, it's no longer open. There's structures in the way, and he ran back, and then he ran kind of to the left, and I think that was his final trek, and then he went into that little tight area, thinking Christine could not follow because it was so narrow, and he was shocked to discover Christine could fit into that little area. We heard the crunching of Christine as the car scraped along the walls, and eventually Mucci was, you know, he was put up against the wall, shall we say. He was squished against the wall. So that's now a recycling plant. If I could have gone in there and run back, made that turn to where Mucci was crushed, I would have loved to have done that. But that is no longer possible. One last fun fact. I did happen to meet the actor that portrayed Mucci last weekend at a convention, and he said that the way that they did that death scene was on the other side of that wall, there was a very heavy vehicle. I don't know if it was a pickup truck or a forklift or what, but it was a heavy vehicle, and it had a chain attached to it, and they made a little hole in the wall, and they ran the chain through it and then connected it to Christine on the other side of the wall. That chain then ran between the actor's legs, and when it was time, they called action. Instead of Christine, you know, moving forward on her own momentum, she was pulled. They just pulled, that heavy truck pulled that chain and pulled Christine towards the actor. He did describe it as a very harrowing experience. He actually was legitimately scared, so that was an interesting story to hear. So that's it. That is where Mucci met his demise in the film Christine. All right, so now we are on Carroll Avenue. in Los Angeles in the Echo Park neighborhood. Carroll Avenue, at least the 1300 block of Carroll Avenue, has actually been designated a historical landmark because of all the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Victorian homes that are here. I would love to just take my time and stroll this whole street and tell you about every one of them, but for now, just going to point out a couple. Yeah, if anybody watches Charmed, this is the house from Charmed. Yeah, this is it. Little fun fact though, it's also the home of one of the characters in Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. Right here. So this is just one of many, many beautiful homes. Oh, and to clarify, this was also the house of Tina. This is Tina's house in Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. I think I said it was a character's house, but I wanted to clarify it was Tina's house in Deuce Bigalow. Pretty cool. If I pan the camera around here, you can just see it's just one beautiful home after another here on Carroll Avenue. Carroll. I'm going to take a walk down and take a look at a few more. Next to the Charmed house, we have this beautiful home. Just lovely. There's another gorgeous home over there. It's just one beautiful Victorian home after another here on Carroll Avenue. But for right now, I want to show you one you'll all probably recognize. It's the Thriller house. This is Thriller. Thriller night. This is it right here. This is where Michael Jackson's girlfriend ran up the stairs to get away from Michael, who was turning into a vampire or something, a werewolf actually, right before her very eyes. The Thriller house in the flesh. That's a long flight of stairs, I tell you, to be running up in a panicked, terrified stage like that girl was. Looks like it needs a little work, a little restoration here. That is the Thriller house. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I think this next one is a special one too. Let me see, let me get up close. Oh, but while I do, there's another shot of that beautiful house. Another one over there. I think this might be something special over here. Let me see the address. It looks very familiar to me. I'm pretty sure this has to be it. It's Corner House 30. Yes, this is it. So, if you have ever watched Mad Men, the character Don Draper, if you recall his childhood, he was raised, how do we say this? He was raised in a brothel. Yeah, that's how he got his start in life. And there was an episode where we saw a flashback to his time living in the brothel when he was a child. I think it was season 6. But this was the house they used to portray Don Draper's childhood home in Mad Men. Right here. There's a scene where he's standing on those front steps. And actually what he does is he brings his children to see it. He wants them to know the rough start he had in life. So he actually brings them to see it. And when he does that, you know, in present day, when we see it in flashback, it looks like this. When we see it in present day, it does not look like this. The years have not been kind to it. It's very deteriorated, very dilapidated. But this is how it looks in real life, and this is how it looks when we first saw it. So here's our street sign, Carroll Avenue, and it's showing you this is the 1300 West block. And here is a sign showing you Carroll Avenue, highest concentration of Victorian era residences, Cultural Heritage Board. Pretty special place here in Los Angeles on Carroll Avenue. I just had to cross the street and get a better look at this one. I just think this is so beautiful. Beautiful home here on Carroll Avenue. I would love to sit on that cozy looking front porch and just just watch the day go by. So beautiful. And then there's that one. Still beautiful, just needs a little work, a little upkeep, a little maintenance. So here's another movie home, and I must confess I have not seen this film, but apparently this was the house used in Grandma's Boy. So maybe when I get home I'll watch the movie, but for now, this is the home from Grandma's Boy. Next to Grandma's Boy, we have this beautiful Victorian home. I just love these. If you want to look them up on realtor.com, type in any address on Carroll Avenue. 1345 I think is Thriller. 1329 was Charmed, or the other way around, on Carroll Avenue. And you can see these are not inexpensive homes at all. Not for the faint of heart, but beautiful. And I think this is the last. Oh, there's one more on the other side of the street. This is the last one on this side of the street. So beautiful. I could see there's a historical register sign by the door. So very lovely. Lovely, lovely. And there's another one over there, 1321. So beautiful. And then the one next to that looks like it's being worked on. So that's right next to the Charmed house, in fact. So that's gonna probably be spectacular when it's done. So that is the 1300 block of Carroll Avenue. All right, this next spot is a little interesting. Doesn't look like much. It's a dirt lot with some stairs in front of it. But the significance about this property is that in Karate Kid 3, right here is where Mr. Miyagi's bonsai tree shop stood. Right here on this piece of land. And right across the street, that blue building is where the girl worked that Daniel's son sparked a relationship with. And that shop right there. Karate Kid 3. Well, this day is winding down, but this is a pretty popular intersection amongst Quentin Tarantino fans and film location stalkers. This intersection right here is where Marcellus was walking in Pulp Fiction, and Bruce Willis was driving down the road and stopped actually at this stop sign, and Marcellus was crossing the sidewalk, and he looks over and he's like, what? You know, because he's been looking for him and he's got a beef with him. So this is the intersection where that happened. He was carrying a pink box of donuts and I think a cup of coffee as well. It's right here at Fletcher Drive and Atwater in Los Angeles with a nice Foster's on the corner. If you get hungry, old-fashioned breeze looks really good. So that's it. Short and sweet. Pulp Fiction. Here we have it. This is the original Griswold residence from the original Family Vacation. The scene I have, the photo I have, the truckster is parked right in the driveway. The family is getting packed and ready to go on their big family vacation. So the car was right there. So that is it. This is another exquisite home. Probably this fence was not here for filming, or if it was hidden, since it could have just had the gate open for the shot, because if I go in close enough, you could almost replicate that shot. There you go. So the fence could have been here and they just had the gate open. So that's it, the Griswold house from Family Vacation. Back to the hotel now, freshen up and see what the night has in store. I'm about to go in for some dinner at the Musso and Frank Grill in Hollywood. It has been here since 1919, full of history. Lots of celebrities dined here over the years. Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio. Lots of films and television series have been filmed here. You may recall seeing this sign in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Brad Pitt and Leonardo were having a conversation in the parking lot here after Leonardo was worried about his career and he was crying and everything. So we're gonna go inside and get some dinner and see what it looks like inside. Just walk inside and the first thing we see are some Historical payphones. I think there were a lot of Hollywood deals done inside these phone booths at one time. At Musso and Frank, very cool. So, I'm out here with my friend Brian from Reel to Reel Filming Locations, and we're just doing a little stroll on Hollywood Boulevard at night to see what we're going to see. Some famous stars here, quite the sights, so come on. We just had dinner at Musso, Frank and Girl, and we're just kind of walking on back. Take a long time to walk the Boulevard, if that's right. That one is waiting. It's waiting for a star. They don't know I'm here. Rhonda Fleming. Wallington, upside down. There's one for you, Brian.
Yeah, it's cracked though.
Drew Carey. This is crazy. Never thought I'd be walking Hollywood Boulevard at night. Right next to George. That's nice. Any of these mean anything to you?
Say goodnight, Gracie. Is that? My grandfather used to always say that to my grandmother. It's time to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Aw. The Watson family. Not sure who that is.
Who they are?
We can't know all of them. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Milli Vanilli?
Is that Liza Minnelli's?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Shame on me.
Milli Vanilli?
Wasn't that his name, Vincent? I don't know. Maybe not. Do you remember the first time you walked down Hollywood Boulevard and looked at all the stars, Brian?
Yes, back in 1999. Started at the Chinese Theater, put my fingerprints in a few people, and then started walking up and down, taking pictures of everybody.
Like I'm doing right now.
Like you're doing right now. You said you weren't going to see any stars.
I know, right? I guess I was wrong. I guess I was wrong. Ooh, I can smell the beauteous aroma of Hollywood Boulevard on a Saturday night. Norman Perry. I wonder why some face one way and some face another way.
I guess so that some people will see it, whoever's walking this way will see it the right way, and then who's ever coming this way will see some the right way. Kind of like trains on, or seats on a subway.
That makes sense.
They're going one direction. You want to play it right?
You're smart, Brian. It's always like extra thrilling when it's someone that, I don't know,
Yeah.
you admire or whatever. Roderick Crawford. Ella Fitzgerald. Aerosmith. Jack Douglas. Tim Conway from the Carroll Avenue Show. So funny. So funny. Yes, we are in the music section. Bob Hope. Oh, you know what this is? Do you know where we are? What's between Bob Hope and the Ritz Brothers? Pop quiz. Right here. This was the turf. Julia Roberts. And her crew between the Ritz Brothers and Bob Hope. This is their area. Don't you go messing in their turf in the Pretty Woman.
That's right.
Yeah, right here. So in the movie, this shop, it was different at the time, but this was the shop you saw in the background when they were walking along Hollywood Boulevard, working their turf.
And if we're near Las Palmas, that's where her apartment was.
It was actually right behind Musso and Frank.
Oh.
Further down. But it's dark.
Yeah.
So I need to go there during the day. Oh! Batman!
And Robin.
The original Batman, Adam West. And Burt Ward. Robin, Batman and Robin. In the cement on Hollywood Boulevard. Kane, Judy Garland. The Arnold. Schwarzenegger. Sir Richard Branson. Wow. I'm not sure who that is. I don't know them all. Ray Bolger.
Scarecrow.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. just sat in her booth at the Musso and Carroll, and now here's her star. How about that? I wish I could do impersonations. Could you do impersonations? No? No Jay Leno impersonation? Okay. Charles Big Bird. Huh. Don't know these guys. Lou Costello. Wow. Just the sounds of Saturday night on Hollywood Boulevard. Wax Museum. Woo! Stars right here. That's pretty cool. Burgess Meredith, the Penguin. The original Batman TV show. Ooh, that stench. Woo. Weird Al. Gotta see Eddie Murphy. Oh wow. Check this out. Eddie Murphy is next to W.C. Field. Oh, Kirstie Alley. This is Comedy Row. And Hugh Hefner. What has got to do with comedy? I don't know. But Nancy Sinatra, Frank's daughter.
Do you want to go inside quickly and get your beer and bring it back out?
Randy Quaid. Holly Hunter. Hollywood Boulevard. Responsible for so much beauty in Hollywood. Stapler. Mickey Gilly. Dennis Weaver. Wow. This is like a walk down memory lane. Oh, Chet Everett. I used to love him in Medical Center. Oh wow. Looks like I'm back at my hotel. One of my favorite shows. How about that? How's that for timing?